Hello everyone, and thank you for joining. This is Brian from Shooter Soups and Sauces. Today I'm going to do a roasted pork loin with a port wine sauce and souffle potatoes. We'll get going. The sauce is going to go pretty quick. I'll go ahead and post everything, of course, at the end of the video. You'll see the recipe and how to do it. Just give me a couple minutes and we'll get going. Alright, and here we go. We're going to take a little bit of, I just took a little bit of canola oil and put it in a pan. What we're going to do is some black grapes, a little bit of celery, some onion. We're going to go ahead and saute it. We're going to sweat it off. We're going to sweat it so that way we can add the port wine and reduce that. When we do add the port wine, it's going to be roughly about a cup. And we're going to add a half a quart of cream. Once we get the cream to come in after, of course, we reduce the port wine down to about like a syrup. But as you can see, I just threw some black grapes in there. They'll break up as it cooks. And a little bit of herbs we'll add in a couple minutes. Now that we let it sweat for a few minutes, I'm going to take some of the juice from when I roasted the pork off and add into this. Like I said, I always like to use everything when cooking and making everything. It's all about the flavor. Just want to get a little bit extra flavor in there. Put a little color in that port wine sauce. The only reason I use the black grapes for is a little bit of sweetness. It's always nice to have a little sweetness in there. And I just use a cheap port wine. It's just Fairbanks port wine. Like I said, we're going to use about a cup of it. And let this reduce down for a minute. As you can see, it's pretty quick. Just reduce that down. We'll add the port wine. We'll let that reduce off. Then we'll add the heavy cream. As you can see, it's already starting to get like, just like syrup. That's what you want. As you can see, just like syrup. We're going to add the wine. Like I said, we're going to add about a cup of wine. The port wine. Go ahead and add that in there. And let that reduce down. So we're only adding a half a quart of cream. So I'm only making enough sauce for about, roughly about 4 dishes. And I'll plate up the dishes as the end of the video. So just let this reduce down. It's going to be like a syrup again. After it gets to the syrup, we'll add the cream. We'll let that reduce. Then we'll strain it. I'll show you how we'll strain it, and we'll be done with the video. Thanks. Just so you know, I added in the herbs right after I added the wine in, and it's almost reduced down to where we need it. See, it's about almost 3/4. We're going to let it get so we get some bubbles on there. You can see get nice heavy bubbles. Then we're going to go ahead and add the cream. Just so you know, you can use this on chicken as well. Pretty versatile. You can use it on a lot of different things. But I like it on the pork. It's got a little sweetness to it, and it'll go good with the souffle potatoes. And I also made like a roasted corn salsa that'll be on the plate as well. Now you can see that it's got the nice bubbles to it. That's what you're looking for right there. Get that nice little bubble to it to where it's reduced down about 3/4 of the way. And we're going to add the heavy cream. We're going to bring it up to a boil. You're going to be stirring it. And then you're going to put it down to about medium. That way it doesn't overflow, of course, in your pan. You can use a bigger saucepan if you like. I just like using the pan like this because it's wide. It'll reduce a little bit faster to still give you the same flavor. Just like I said, after it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down a little bit. That way it doesn't overflow. As you can see, it's getting that nice purple tint to it, which is what you're looking for. Because it's a port wine sauce, it's not a white wine, it's actual port. even though we used the heavy cream, it's going to have the flavor of everything that's in there. We'll add a little bit of kosher salt to it and a little bit of white pepper. As you can see, it's almost reduced down where it needs to be. Like I said, it's a sauce, it's not a gravy, so you don't want it real heavy, you want it light, but it's starting to pull together. And I figured also today with the meal, I'll go ahead and do a specialty. I'm just going to do a special coffee. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of this Skinny Syrups, salted caramel mocha. I'm going to do an iced coffee since it's so hot. Have the coffee press. And just some half and half. I'll mix that up. We'll have that with the dinner. Have a little iced coffee. It'll go good with this. We'll pour wine sauce. Of course, the roasted pork loin with the souffle potato. And the souffle potato is just eggs, some half and half, you know, a few herbs. Pretty simple. Parmesan cheese. And you put it in little cups and put it on a sheet pan with some water. Cover it up for about 45 minutes in the oven at 350 and uncover it for another 20 minutes. And then let them sit after you pull them out of the oven. It goes good with the wine and the pork itself. We're almost ready to go ahead and strain this. We'll just give it a few more minutes. Like I said, you can see about where it's at. We're just about there, and then we'll dish it up. See what you got. It's coating the back of the spoon, and that's what you're looking for. This is a great little sauce for, like I said, for the pork and stuff. So a couple more minutes and we'll be on our way. Of course, like any of the other sauces that I make, I always like to add a little bit of a couple pads of butter to the end for a little bit more silkiness of the sauce. Okay, now it's time to strain this sauce off, so we'll go ahead and strain it off just using a fine china cap. I call it a chamois, but you can get one of these at the kitchen store, which is pretty easy. Just go ahead and we'll strain this off. And after we strain it off, we'll go ahead and plate up a plate. You'll be good to go. As you can see, the sauce came out nice and smooth. It's almost like chocolate syrup. And here you have it as promised. Nice. You have your coffee. And you have an extra souffle potato to show you how I did it as far as when I put it in the oven. Comes out really nice. And then of course your port wine sauce over your roasted pork with the souffle, your roasted corn, a little bit of tomato and some peppers in there. But then you have your satisfying drink, little salted caramel coffee for you, iced down for the hot day. Well, like always, thank you for joining. This is Brian from Shooter Soups and Sauces. Please follow me, give me a good thumbs up. Also, add your comments. Always interested in what people think about what they want. You know, what would you like to make? Give me a comment. I'll go ahead and try to impress you. But other than that, you have a great day. And like I said, this recipe will be on the site as well with the video. All right, thank you and have a great day.